This
Hi all,
conference
I have
will
shared
now
my
be
screen. Please
recorded.
let me know once you can see it.
Hello, Mr. Kumar. How are you?
Yeah, great. Can you all see my screen?
Yes, I can see. And one thing I want to ask that if we have the domain accounts, so how we can use this one in the dev environment?
Domain account in the sense
In the sense, if we have the company account.
you want to use your company account for the VM, you can do that.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, yes.
Whatever you need to do is you have the same admin user provisioning tool. You need to run it as an administrator and you can provide your domain account. If you have Office 365 access, obviously you will be able to log on.
Okay,
Okay.
from here we
Like
can
saying.
enter.
Yep.
Okay, okay.
Okay. So see here. Yesterday we were discussing about the EDT arrays and we have faced some issues. Is that right? So what I have done is I have created a simple table and then I have used the same EDT array and then I have done a full bit. Okay. I have done a full bit and then it worked. Okay. Now you can see this is my table 4 and this is my THT name array. Let me open this. You can see there are two array elements, name 1 and name 2. And let me open the table. And for this table, I have a field called name. And if I go to properties, you can see I have added THT as THT name array. And then this is the name. Now, if I go to the output, you can see synchronization got completed. And this is my table 4. It got synchronized successfully. Now, first thing I will do is, let us go to the database. Okay. And then let me connect. Here you can see databases and then AXDB tables. Okay. Now we need to use dbo dot table. Hey, what is it here? How many columns are there now? How many columns are there? Name 2 underscore, name 3 underscore. One we created identity. The other two are the two array elements for us. Okay. This is what I said. Okay. 90% of the times what people will do is instead of using the array, they will simply use new fields. They will create two new fields and they will call them as name 1, name 2, name 3, and then they will use them. Well, that's up to you whether you want to use the identity array or whether you want to create the fields. Okay. Now I want to open this table from the front end and then I want to check how it will look like. Open table. Let it open. In the meantime, I will open OneNote as well. Just a second. Oh, now can you see here? Name. Here you got name 3 times. Now first name, middle name, last name. How to get it? How to get it? If you want to go in that fashion, now you can go to this table 4 and you have only one name. Okay? And you can see here PHP name array name. Okay, good. This is my name. And then you say this. Name 2. We have the name 2. Name 1. We have the name 1. We need to update the labels. And what I have done? I have hard coded the label files. But we should never do that. So what we should do? Instead of hard coding them, we need to create a label file. How to create a label file? You click on the add button, new item, and then if you go to labels and resources, you will see label file. Okay, and you can call this as click card. Okay, I'm simply giving the name as Flipkart. You can give the name as per your company convention. Okay, and what is the label ID? I will use FLI. Click on the next button, and here you need to select the languages. By default, there will be at least one language, which will be N-US. And then you can take Hindi. Okay, you have Hindi language. Yes, you have Hindi language. Okay, you can take the Hindi language, and then you can take Tamil if you want. You have Tamil as well, and then you can take Telugu if you want. Like this, you can take whatever the language. Okay, most of the languages are available. If they are unavailable, then you need to see which language is feasible for you or suitable for you. Okay, done. Now my label file contains 4 languages. Now let me click on the next button, finish. Now it will create 4 files for me. How many files? 4 files. You can see this is N-US, this is Hindi, this is Tamil, this is Telugu. Okay. Now I will open the English language. Okay. And here you can see there are 2 things. One is label ID and the label and the description. Now coming to this label ID, up to age 2012, it used to be a meaningless alphanumeric value, characters and then a number. Okay, it is a meaningless alphanumeric value. But coming from Dynamics 365, you can define your own value. Let me call it as a name. Name of the customer. Done. I will say name of the customer. Okay, this is my label. And now you can go to the other language, Hindi, and you can use name. Remember, this label ID should be same in all the languages. Label ID should not be different. Here I have used name, so here as well I need to use name. So I will take this name of the customer, and then you should not go to translate.google.com. But I don't have other resource. Okay, to type. So I'm taking translate.google.com. And in your case, from where you will get these labels? The customer will provide the details. Okay, the customer will provide the details for you. He will give the translations. Whatever the languages he needs, he will provide the translations. And whatever you need to do is, you need to simply copy the translation, go back to the label, and then paste it over here. Done. Same. And similarly, Tamil. So what should be the label ID? The label ID should be name. And then what should be the label? You can simply convert it to Tamil, and then you can take this. Okay, don't ask me whether it is right or wrong. I'm using translator, so whatever it is giving, I'm just pasting it. Okay, so done. This is in Tamil, and then Telugu. Let's see in Telugu. Telugu, and then I'm copying this, and you can go to Visual Studio, paste it over here. Oh, sorry. Copy, and then paste. Okay, and then paste it here. See?
Label ID.
Okay, done. Okay, this is how we are going to create the labels. Remember, this is the primary thing. Okay, whenever you are working with a project, you need to create labels, which is mandatory. And if you are not able to create labels in multiple languages, you can ask the customer what are the languages he needs. You can create the file at least in one language, which is English. You need to create the labels. Okay. Now, what all you need to do is you need to go to the properties here, TXT name. I have the label here. Now I can select the 3 dots, and then you can use name. But if I type name, I will get hundreds of labels might be. If I'm trying to search for the name, I'm getting hundreds of these things. So what I need to do? There is one more way. You need to use @FLI, okay, column name. Okay, I don't remember this, but let me try. Can you say this? FLI name. Now you can keep on paste. This is how we need to use. Okay, this is how we need to use label. Oh, now you may get it out. You are saying FLI column name. Now what about the languages? Now this FLI column name, if you are using it in Telugu, it will print in Telugu. If you are using it in English, it will print in English. If you are using Tamil, it will print in Tamil. Okay. One second. Okay, in this they have not specified the language. Okay. When we go to the fonts, I will show you. Now you can see currently this is in, we have set it to German. Nah? This is in German, yeah. Similarly, whatever the language you use, you get that language. Okay, please remember. But coming to the table browser, if you use, the names will always display in the same language. Okay, it will be in English. Okay, done. Now, this is about the language stuff and how to work with label items. Okay, this is about the language stuff and how to work with the labels. Now, please let me know if you have any queries in this language items and labels. If there are no queries, I will move forward. Okay, I want to change this to English because that would be more convenient for all of us. And done.
Kumar.
Okay. Yeah.
So, can we make I mean to say two labels in different language? I mean to Hindi or English or Telugu on a form, on a single form.
On a single form, you want to make two different languages. You can do that.
Okay, that is possible. And for each kind of label, we need to create a label file.
Yes. Here you can see I'm using 4 different languages. Now, whatever the objects I create labels for 4 different languages. That means my application will be for 4 different languages. If you add languages, you can take n languages.
I just wanted to ask you, for each kind of fields, we need to create label files. For example, name, address, and invoicing information or other details, kind of.
There will be only one label file. Okay? There will be only one label file for your entire project, not this Visual Studio project. I'm going to say your model. For Flipkart model, one label file is enough. And in this label file, you can add any number of. Creating multiple label files will create confusion. You should stick only with one label file. Okay? And if you are developing a framework, and if you are developing an application, for framework, you need to create one label file. For application, you need to create one label file. Okay, this is how it works. Okay? Now, here, this is all about the label files, and this is about the extended data types and all those things. Now,
I have a question about the arrays in ADTU.
Yeah.
I didn't get the purpose of that one, like why we need to create same field again and again.
See here, in the name field, if you say about a name, in each and every application, you will see first name, middle name, last name. If you want to get that first name, middle name, last name, there are 2 ways. One is you can create a EDT array with 2 elements. Then obviously it will get 0, 1. So 3 elements will be created. One will be name, second will be one will be first name, middle name, last name. The second way is create 3 fields in a table. Call one as first name, second one as the middle name, third one as last name. So that's up to you, whether you want to create multiple fields or whether you want to create a EDT. Anyways, you can do it. Okay?
Okay, EDT with the different arrays, right? Array elements.
Yes, exactly. EDT with different elements. Okay? This is about the external data type and the purpose and how we are going to use it and how we are going to create the labels. Okay? Now we will come back to our project because this is very, very important. Now what we need to do? Now I have few of the tables. Now we are in the design. What we need to do? What are the preliminary steps? The preliminary steps are create base enough, create extended data types, and then go with the tables. Okay, these are the steps. And here you can add one more step. What is that step? Tables. Oh, if you want to add it, you can add it as a first step. Okay. If you don't want to stick to only English language, if you want to stick to English language, you can do this. Or you can create a label file at the beginning, and then base enums. Because base enums as well, you need to define labels. Yeah, it should be in multiple languages. If you want to stick only for one language, which is English, these three are the steps. If you want to go with n number of languages, you need to follow in this sequence. So after this, you can do whatever you want. If you want to create a form, create a form. If you want to develop a service, develop a service. If you want to create a workflow, create a workflow. Okay, these are the preliminary steps. Now, okay, I think we have used EMS or whatever it is, you can do that. Okay. Now, first one is city. Now comes the now comes the complexity. Now, for this city, there are two ways which we can define the entities. What are those two ways? Okay. Up to now we have created only 4 tables, but let me go to Application Explorer, and then I have a search here. Here I will type city. Okay, and then here you can see filter by type. I will use filter by type. And what do you want to use? You can say standard. Okay. Now, if you search in this fashion, you will get the specific type. I have used an extended data type, so it will list out only from extended data type. Now you can see there are these many city variables here. This many city variables here. Already I have the extended data types. Now what I need to do? There are two ways again. What are those? First one is use the existing EDT. Second one is create a new EDT. Create a new EDT. So how to plan whether to use the existing EDT or create a new? Okay. My suggestion is that if there is something available, go with it. Okay. If there is some available EDT, never create a new extended data type. Try to utilize that extended data type. If it is not available, then only go with new extended data type. Okay? Then only go with new extended data type. And again, for the same EDT, there are again different ways with which you can use them. Okay? First one is, I told you can use the existing EDT. So I can see something called address city, which is in directory module. So what I can do? I can simply use this address city in my table 4. Okay. For example, I am taking this table 4. From tomorrow onwards, anyways, we'll create the tables. Now what I will do is, I will take this address city as an EDT. Let me take a new and then a string, and let me go to property. I will call this as city, and then I will go to the extended data type. I will use address city. Okay, and then I will do a rebuild. I want to see if there are any errors. Hey, what is this? It says the underlying type addressity or its base type table 4 does not exist. It is saying addressity does not exist. Why? Because I told you Dynamics 365 is a model-driven architecture. So this addressity belongs to which model? Directory model. Addressity belongs to directory model. So you need to refer the directory model in your code. You can model parameters, update model parameters, select Flipkart, shopping management system or Flipkart. I don't remember. It's Flipkart. Okay, and then select next button. Here you need to refer the directory model, and then select next button. Okay. And remember, you will get one error at a time. If there are any other references in this address city, then you need to add them as well. It will show the error. Okay. Now let me repeat again, and let's check whether there are any errors or not. Okay. Let's wait for build to complete here. Take some time. Okay, build got completed successfully. So this is how you need to use the existing utility. Way one. Now there is one more thing. The other way is in the shopping management system, I will click on the add button and then new item. Before this, you can see the label files and then I have the my first plot, table plot. All these are not grouped. Is that right? If you want to get them grouped, go to Dynamics 365. In the options, in the Dynamics 365, there should be something called projects. Yeah, this one. Organize projects by element type. Okay, can you see this? You need to select this and click on OK. Now let me add a new extended item, new item, and then let me go to data types. Again, I will take EDT string. Here I will call this as FLI. Okay. Now to this FLICT, if I go to properties, you can see there is a property called extends. What is the property? Extends. Now by default, you can see everything is enabled. I can modify whatever I want here. Okay. Now let me set this extend. Now if you see array length, I cannot change. Alignment, I can change. Adjustment, I cannot change. Strength size, I cannot change. Okay, so then you will use this. Then you will use this. Remember, see here, there is an existing entity which is address city. You need all the properties of that extended data type, but you want the label to be different. Let's say, for example, what you want? You want the label or help text, or you want to modify a few more things specific to this one. Then you will use a concept called EDT inheritance. Okay, EDT inheritance. What is inheritance? Gaining the properties of another object in our object is nothing but inheritance. Okay. Now what we will do? We took the address city. Now once we use this extends property, address city, then what will happen? Automatically all the properties of the address city will get inherited in my FLI city. Okay. Now let's do one thing. Let me open this table and check. And later on, I will change the EDT and then we will check again. Okay. Whether both are same or not. Just a second. Let it load. Now select the new button. Okay. This is the city. Name, name, name. Or you can add whatever the values you want. Okay. City. Hyderabad, name. John, I will select you can do something else. Okay. And then click on the save button. It will save the profile. Okay. Now, similarly, what you can do, it is going to accept how many characters? 60 characters. Now what you can do is, if you want to change this, you can go to table 4, city, properties, and instead of enter city, right, this is also possible. You can do this. Okay, you can do this as well. Okay, let me do the reading. This is my FLI city. Properties done. So this is how we are going to work with extended data types. Okay. Now what we will do is we will map the entities. Okay. Now if I go to this one node, okay, for this city, we came across the city. So what you can do? You can map the existing entity, or you can map the new entity. That's all again up to you. Whatever you want to do, you can do. All are same. Similarly for country as well. Now let's say I want to create a new entity, and we are going with a project with Amazon. We are building it for Amazon. So let me take AMA city. Okay. This is AMA city. Okay. 1 second. Extended data type is AMA city. And what is the type of entity? The type of entity is string. How many characters? You can say 60. Or we will define country. Again, this will be also, you will call it as AMA country, and this will be again a string. You can say some 100 characters. Like this, you can define any number of characters you need. Okay, that's again up to you. AMA string, and then you can say string, and then you can say some 60. But please remember, whenever you are defining these characters, 60 characters means it will be 60 bytes. The more amount of bytes you use, the more the memory will be consumed, and it will slow down the. Okay, so you need to remember, you need to keep this in mind as well. Which is why I told you to use the existing types if they are available. Okay, AMA zip code. You can AMA, right? And you can set some 60 characters here, and you can set some 60. Okay. Now you can do one more thing. Here I can say 60 characters multiple places. I want to create one more AMA location, and I want to add it all for all this. You can do that. Okay. And for the zip code, you might say, I don't want to use this one because it is a number. I want to use integer. You can use it. AMA zip code, and you can type as integer. This is all up to you here. Okay. This is all up to the design. However you want to design, you can design the. Okay. Now, this is about the edit string. Anyways, I want you to map for all this because all these are strings only. I'm checking. I want to get something like basic. Just a second. Okay. Here, actually, for this customer, I want to add one more. Gender. Okay. I want to add gender. So, what is the gender? Gender is a basic. So, what we can do? We can create a enum called AMA gender, and then we can add values for it. Okay, let's do that. What will be the values? Male. Okay, to create a base enum, again go to the Solution Explorer. Just a second, it's doing a bit. Okay, so now what we will do is we will create a base enum here with 3 different values. Okay, male, female, and other. Now, whenever you are creating a base enum, the best practice is that start with first variable as none. Oh, you might get it out. Oh, I need to start with none because I want to directly add the value. Why you are asking me to start with none? There is one specific reason for that. Okay. Now, whenever you are trying to add the value, whenever you are trying to create a record, the first value, if you set it to something, by default, it will take that value. By default, the enumerated data type will take the first value. Okay. Now let's say in one of the enumerated data type, I found that there are two values, economy class and then business class. Okay, this will be in time and expense management, and there are few more. And the first value is economic class. But by default, the customer don't want to choose any option here. Okay, when the record is created, you don't want to choose the option because during the integration we used to work with this. But unfortunately, in the system standard, we have this. So what will happen? By default, it is taking economic class, but we don't need it. So whatever you need to do is, you need to create one more enum, and then you need to call it as other or none, and you need to set up somewhere. So you need to plan the requirement. At the beginning, if you have the requirement of a default value for your base enum, then only you need to select the first value as whatever the value you need. Otherwise, the first value should be always none. And here you need to add the second value, which will be male or female, and third value, the remaining. Okay, you can take female here, and then you can take the fourth value. So what will happen? Whenever the user opens the table, he will see this as none, and then he will select from any of the three values. Or if I start with male, what will happen? By default, it will show as a male. By default, it will always show as a male. Okay, if the customer forgets, or if he does some mistake, obviously it will take male itself. Okay, if it is none, you can ask him to check. You can make a check. If it is none, you can ask him to enter either male or female or other. But if it is male, you can't do that validation. Yeah, you can't do that validation. This is the problem. Okay, so whenever you are creating the base enums, you need to understand the requirement. If there is any default value for that base enum, the first value should start with the default value. If it should not start with default value, the first value should be set up to place name. Okay, because most of the times people used to question me this one, because let me show you. Okay, I will show you the EDTs, how they are organized. Then you will get to know about it. Actually, this is the best practice from Microsoft, but when they are building now, they have not followed it. Let me open the designer and let me check. Default. Here they have done a good thing. They have a default. Let us check some other email. Switch status. Open design. Expense type. Okay. Here they have used empty. The build one. Okay. Not applicable. Okay. Default. Now, if I show you something else, let me open this ABC. They have given none ABC. Oh, they have modified. Yeah, looks good. In AX 2012, I did not see this, few of the things, or few of the entities, but seems like they have added none and not applicable in most of the cases. Okay, but here you can see they have defaulted the value to main item display. Okay, this should not be done. The first value should be none. Please remember, the first value should be none. Few places, okay, hereafter, by default they have set it to account and selection. Okay, this should not be done. So whatever we need to do is, depending upon the requirement, if we need to use the default value, then we can set it to default. The first value you can set it to default value. If it is not the case, then you need to use the first value as none. Now, how to create the base? To create the base enum, right click on the add button. I don't know why it's still mistaken. Go back. 1 second. Let me cancel this. Okay. What you need to do is right click on the add button, new item, and then you will have the base enum here, and you need to create a base enum as gender on the add button. Just a second, it is getting added. Yeah, it got added. Now, if I go to the properties of the base enum, you can see these are the ones, and you can see there is a style. Here we have the combo box, radio color. Okay, based on the selection. If you want to select on the basis of radio button, you can use radio button. This radio button is useful when you are working with the forms. When you are working inside the table, you can select the components. You need to define the label for the base enum, and then configuration key. I will explain you these things, or about this configuration key I will explain you later on, okay? Because let's move further and then I will explain. You can see the name as gender is extensible. This is very, very important property, okay? Let me go to the standard base enum. Now if I go to open designer and properties, you can see is extensible is set to false. If is extensible is set to false, it indicates that you cannot extend this base enum. Means you cannot create extension of this base enum. Now you have the requirement again, back to that. You need to create the extension of this base enum. How to do it? Okay. In lcs.dynamics.com, inside your subscription, you will have a create ticket option. Whatever you need to do is you need to create a ticket. You need to create a ticket with Microsoft and let them know you want the extension of this base enum. For base enums, they are not going to check all the details. They will set that property is extensible. Okay. There is no need of mapping all the requirements and everything. They will simply set it to true, and then they will let you know the details. Okay, please remember this. For base enums, it's very easy to get the extensions. Okay, you need to create a ticket with Microsoft. They will set this is extensible property to true. Then you will be able to extend it. Point number one. Point number two. Now this is gender. I am creating a value, creating a new element. I will call this element as male, and I will go to the solution explorer and -us. I will create one more label. I will call this label as male here, and then this will be male, and then you can say now let me go to the gender, and you can go to properties. Here you can add @SLI colon male. Similarly, what you can do? New element, you can call it as female. Okay. Whoever my age 2012, they might have observed one more thing here. Okay. Okay. And let me go to the label file and -us. Let me create one more label. And if you want to create in multiple languages, you can create in multiple languages. Okay. Currently, I am creating only in English. How we need to work with labels. This is how we need to work with basics. Okay. New element, and you can call it as other. Okay. And then and hard code none. Okay, other. And we forgot none. Is that right? First value should be none. In age 2012, we have an option for the base enum element. Update the value here. Okay, because the base enums are stored as TNEED. TNEED means the value can range from 0 towards 255. But whereas in Dynamics 365, you cannot update the value of the base enum. Okay, that is taken care by kernel. But whereas in few base enums, okay, I don't remember the name. There will be a exactly. You can see this one. Use enum value. This is the property. If this property is set to yes, you can use the enum value. Okay. All selected. One second. Let me go to that all selected. Right click. Open designer. You can see. In case of this one, enum value property, you can see. Whereas if the use enum value property is set to no, then you cannot use it. Okay, remember that is a property. Whereas coming to our own enum, the property is not there here. That use enum value now, by default it is set to no. Let me show you. Okay, now let me go to my base enum. Let me switch to model view and let me go to Flipkart. Here you can see data types, basinance, gender, use enum value. By default, it is set to no. Okay. But people used to ask me, is there any way possible to set it to yes? Okay. Let me do a rebuild and then we will go there and we will see how it will look like. Okay. Now we have created this many objects. We haven't seen how the code will look like. Now let me go to C drive. In case of Azure environment, it will be K drive, AOS service, packages local directory. And let me navigate to Flipkart. Flipkart. And here, let me navigate to Flipkart again. You can see there are a lot of things. It's enum, FLI gender, right click on the edit button. Good. Can you see this? Okay. Actually, what you can do is you can update from the backend this use enum value to yes, and then you can add the values. Okay, that is possible. But whereas from the front end, you can't see this property. Okay. Now what I will do is I will update this property to yes. One second. Let me save as desktop. I will say all files fligender.xml because it will not already save directly from here, which is why I'm using this. One second, fligender.xml. You can copy this, paste it over here. You will say replace the destination, replace the file in the destination, continue. As you are the admin, it will replace. Now let me go to front end. Second, it will ask me, yes button, done. Properties. Okay, we did not get anything. Okay, let me try to reopen it because I want to check if they have added any additional security. Yeah? Because in the previous versions we used to do this. To get the enum values, we used to simply modify the base enum file, the XML file from the backend, and then we used to get that. But let me see in this version. Because version to version there will be more of updates. Okay. Now I hope you are clear on how code will look like. Code is nothing but metadata XML. The code will be stored in metadata XML file in case of Dynamics 365. Okay, property is not visible over this. Let me go to mail. Oh, they are using the kernel. Yeah, from the kernel itself, they are enabling and disabling. Which is why even then I have set the enum value to yes, it is not showing in this version. In the previous versions, in the past versions, we used to see that even in the 8.0 or 10.0 primary versions. Okay, we used to find that enum value, but in these versions they have disabled it. I think they are checking all these tricks. Okay, they are identifying all these tricks. Okay, good. Now this is about the base enumeration. Okay, now what I want you to do, I have created few tables and few fields. I think these are not sufficient. We anyways need few more fields and tables. I want you to map the EDTs. I want you to create the EDTs in your environment. Okay, you do all that stuff. Got it? Do all that stuff. Okay. And I want you to practice this. The EDTs, base enums, and then you need to check the properties. Okay. I don't know why I'm not able to paste it in the chart window. It's not allowing me to paste it in the chart window. Take a screenshot of this. That would be good. Okay. Please remember this. And mostly from tomorrow, we will see the brand new environment again because I have downloaded the 32 files, but I haven't set it up yet. Okay. I have downloaded the files. Mostly tomorrow, I'm planning to set up the new environment. Okay. So from tomorrow, we will see 10.0.9. From tomorrow, we will see 10.0.9. Only this would be the environment. Okay. Yeah. Now it's your time. Please let me know if you have any queries.
What's the prefix AMA? Sorry, I missed first 2 or 3 classes.
AMA means, let's say, if we are building this for Amazon, I will use AMA as the prefix, first 3 characters. If I am dealing with this for Flipkart, I will use the first address as the FLI Flipkart. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Next.
So Kumar, in that base enum, we have created 3 fields, male, female, and others. And we wanted to make the first field as a default field. So can we add at the later stage?
Actually, you can add, but by default it will take male now because first field is male. Okay, which is why I have edited this. Okay, I have edited this now. I have changed it to yes, and then I have saved it as XML, and I have pasted here. Okay, generally, if you want to modify the values now, this is how we used to do. But unfortunately, here it does not allow me. Okay, but actually, I can try one more. If I want to get the first value as none, let us try. I can set the value to the none in this XML file itself. And then let me save this. Gender.xml, save, yes. Now this has got 4 values. Okay. Where is this gender? I want to see. Yeah, it has got 4 values. Now I'll copy this and paste it. Continue. Yes. Okay. First value will be because now. Okay. In the previous versions, what we used to do is we used to add one more value. And I showed you that use enum value. I have set it to yes now. I used to update the value. But in these versions, I think for the other models, they have completely disabled. Okay. If it is disabled, you can do in this fashion. Now the first value will be none. Second will be male. Third will be female. Fourth will be other. Because it will take on the basis of the file. In the file, if the value is at the first position, this will be 0. This will be 1. Like that, based on the position. Okay.
Okay.
And one more thing, you got the value as well here. Use enum value. After again, it has updated the value. This is one more good thing. Whatever it is, we can set it to set the values here. But unfortunately, this should not be done going from this versions because I have set the use enum value to yes. I will show you the difference. I have enum called all selected. If I open the designer and if I take any one of the value here, if I take all, 1 second, storing step, you can see enum value. I can modify this value. Whereas if I go to FLI gender, you can see the values, but there is no enum value. Without enum value, you can't change the value. Okay. So whatever we need to do is we need to disable this. I have set it to yes so that I can try, but unfortunately in this version they have disabled this. So after enabling this, I got value 1 and value 2, but these 2 values are not going to work obviously. But even if I added none, I'm not getting the property over there. So my values are missing. It is taking this as 1 and 2. But what about this 2? Okay. So from the back end, even if we modify this username value, this will not. And again, if you want to set the values now, oh sorry, here it will not exist. If you want to set up the values now, whatever you need to do is, if you set it to yes, you need to again take this value, and then you can take the value here, and you can update it. You can set it. And then you can take the second one. Oh, I don't remember exactly whether it will start at 1 or 6. Okay. And you can take the other one, and then you can modify the values. All these things should be done if you are doing it from the back end. Okay. And even if you save the file, you can not allow directly. You need to save the file in some other location. Let's say currently I'm using desktop. Save. Yes. And then let me close this. And you need to copy the file back to back again from this desktop, and then you need to paste it here. This is very bad thing here because I showed you this only for one reason. In some batches, students used to question me whether I can create the base enum from my directly. Okay, you can do that. You can add the values and you can use it in this fashion. Okay, this is also possible. But the backend never edit the XML files. I showed you it is possible, but don't do that. It will create issues later on. The XML files are created by Dynamics 365 by itself. We should not override that logic. Yeah, go ahead. Okay, if there are no queries, I will end session for everyone.
Right, Kumar.
Kumar, one question is from my
Yeah,
side.
go ahead.
So we have already present ADT, right?
Yes.
So we are using extend property to use that already present ADT, right? Like for our own ADT.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's like I want to just confirm. And in our ADT we can change anything which will not we can inherent
In your
like
you
what.
can change anything.
So old value also will able to change, right? Suppose their size is 60,
Yeah.
we can make it 35.
Yeah, there are two things. One is your model, second one is system model. In your model, your ADT, you can change the value at any point of time, you can change whatever you need. Whereas second one is system model. In system model, you can't change the properties. Okay? Further, with the extensions, I will explain you the concept later.
Sure.
Next.
So Kumar, yes, hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
So what will happen if you don't create a label, for example, in Hindi and change the language to Hindi? Then what it will display for that label?
It will not display anything. It will display the label ID.
Only label ID directly?
Yeah. If you have
No
added the
description
label ID and not defined the label, then it will display label ID, or it will not display anything.
No, if we create in English, but if we change the language to Hindi, then what
It will
what
not
it
display
will
anything.
display?
Yeah. It will not display anything.
Only ID. Okay.
Yeah. No. Exactly. Only ID. Because we have that ID now. It will display
Yes,
that ID as there is no language.
Okay.
Next.
Can you open the one name array? And have you created any array element? Sorry, I missed that part. Okay, got it. I'll create. Thanks.
Okay. Thank you all for the session. Let's meet again tomorrow same time. Thank you all. Bye.